In this video, I want to show how to use the Behringer DEQ2496 parametric EQ unit to turn any normal guitar cab into a pseudo full range, full response guitar cabinet. These types of cabs are typically used with like modelers like the Axe-Fx or Pod HD or the Kemper Profiler amp. Basically what this is going to do is it's going to create an EQ curve that transforms the existing curve of your guitar cabinet into something flat, so that anything that gets put into it is accurately represented when it's amplified. So to help explain this, first want to run down basically how this stuff works. Traditional guitar heads have a tone to them, and traditional guitar speakers have a tone to them. The speakers are really not flat. They're not like a PA speaker. They have a lot of peaks and valleys and really alter the sound in ways that people really like, and they pick certain speakers to sound a certain way. When it comes to modelers, they are modeling both the amp head and the speakers inside. So if you use a modeler and you're using it where it's modeling the speaker and you also put that into a guitar speaker, it's like a speaker into a speaker, and that totally screws the tone up. That's why people like to use things that are flat in response, like a PA speaker or even one of these full range, full response custom guitar cabinets. Problem with that, at least for me, is that those are tons of money, and I haven't even really seen ones that look the way that I like them to look. I like it to look like a normal guitar cab. So I was trying to find a way to turn a normal guitar cab into something that had as close to a flat frequency response as I could get. And I think I found a way to do it. Now, before I go into explaining how to do this, I just want to stress this is not 100% flat and it's not 100% full range. I'm sure that there are little inconsistencies in the EQ curve, but it gets you really close and is certainly a usable thing. I'm actually not even going to play any guitar through this. I'm going to use music to illustrate how drastic of a change it is and how close it is to actual input versus output frequency response. So this is the setup I'll be demonstrating on. It's just a power amp, the EQ unit, and the guitar cab. The guitar cab is just an old Fender 4x12. It's got no-name speakers in it that have a horrible sound to them, and the only reason I picked it was because this is a lightweight cab that handles a lot of power, and I knew I was going to try to use this EQ unit to make it flat, and it works pretty well. So what you need is a guitar cab of some sort, a power amp of some sort, this EQ unit, and you also need some sort of flat reference mic. Alright, so this is the reference mic that you need, and this is a pretty important part. Just like speakers, microphones have their own frequency response, and people pick them because of those frequency responses. This is a reference mic that is, again, as close to flat as they can make it. This one's by a company called Dayton Audio, I think, but Behringer makes them, and then there's high-end companies that make them. This was like 49 bucks. I think the Behringer one is maybe close to 100, and you can get them all the way up to like $300 or $400, but this definitely does the trick. And again, it might not be perfect, it might not be 100% flat, it might go up a dB here or there, but for what we're doing, and considering it's just, you know, loud guitar type stuff, it's perfectly adequate to take good measurements. One more thing I wanted to say about this is that some people like to use their modelers where they are only modeling the head and then using a cab, an actual real cab, to get the tone of the speakers and stuff like that. This is intended for people who are modeling 100% of their rig inside the modeler. So again, the attempt is to make the speakers that you're using, the physical speakers, be as flat and neutral and non-coloring as possible. So you're going to want to leave all of your cabinet and microphone emulation on for this, as opposed to people who use a specific guitar cabinet to achieve a specific sound. This is to use the modeled guitar cab sound. So what you're going to want to do is take that reference microphone, plug it into the RTA input on the 2496, and set it up so that it's pointing directly at one of the speaker cones. You might have better luck if it's pointed in a different direction or at a different angle, but I found extremely close, right in the center of the speaker, gets it to create the most accurate curve to flatten the response to your speakers. So from here, once you have this set up, all you need to do is go to the Auto EQ page, which is going to send pink noise through your guitar cab, and hit Start Auto EQ. And what it's going to do is take measurements of the pink noise coming through the speaker and determine what needs to change in order to make the frequency response as close to flat as it can possibly get. Now this process takes about 5 to 10 minutes, and you can hear it in the process as it's going, and you probably don't want to make too much noise in the room while it's happening because it does take the ambient signal into effect, but once it's done, you're going to have something that's pretty close to flat. Now you might need to experiment and do a couple different tries using different microphone angles or how close you are to the speaker or things like that, but you'll find what works best for you. So you can hear the sound is changing. I'm not going to make you sit through this whole thing. I'm just going to show you the before and after. So this is the crazy EQ curve that it came up with. As you can see, it's real weird and it's certainly not flat, but it's basically the inverse of the frequency response of these speakers. So now I want to show you what it sounds like. Now again, I just want to play a song through it with it off and then with it on to show you that there is a huge difference and it's pretty close to flat. And this camera may not even be picking up great audio, but it should illustrate that there is a difference between input and output. So here is music coming through it. And this is with that EQ curve off. And here it is with the EQ curve on. Again, here it is with it off. And then with it on. So there you have it. That's how you can use the 2496 to flatten the frequency response of your guitar cab. A couple of words of warning. These units over the years have had some issues with reliability. Some of them seem to crap out because they get overheated. Some of them do, some of them don't. I've even heard of some people taking them apart and putting heat sinks on the parts that do get hot and then they have no problems. I can't attest to the reliability of them yet. That's on you. And I also just want to stress that this is not perfect. I know this is not perfect. There's a lot of people who, when they talk about building a full range, full response cab, talk about all kinds of calculations to take into account resonances and the volume of air inside the cabinet. And this doesn't attempt to even come close to anything like that. But it doesn't need to be perfect in my opinion, and this gets it very, very close. It's also great because the unit has not only this graphic EQ, but a 10-band parametric EQ, so you can boost and cut stuff as you find necessary to cater the sounds of what you want. It's also got a bunch of other stuff. It's got compressors in it, and I think even feedback suppression units in it, but I don't use any of that. I only use it for the EQ and a volume adjustment. So there you go. I don't know of any other units in a one rack mount space that do this at this price. If anybody knows anything like that, feel free to leave a comment and we can talk about alternatives to this. But there you go. This should save everybody some money and show you how to use any cab to turn it into pretty much a flat frequency response. Thanks for watching.